Hi guys, welcome to today's edition of Breaking into Product Management. I am Nikunj. I handle the campus initiatives for TPF. I'll be hosting the event today for you, and we have with us Harshita Maheshwari. She's the most experienced, the most qualified, the most diverse, diversely experienced person we've had so far on our series. So glad to have you on board, Harshita. And before we kick off with this, would just like to give a quick intro into what TPF is all about. So TPF, that is the product folks, is a volunteer community of product managers. We conduct events, webinars, workshops, and the entire goal is to try and create a product culture across the country, and that's what we are striving to work for. Breaking into PM is a part of one of those initiatives. We are trying to create content which is palatable for early stage folks, product enthusiasts, aspiring PMs, MBA prospects who would like to be PMs themselves sometime in the future. So that's what we're looking at. And today we have with us, as I've mentioned, the very experienced, the very qualified Harshita Maheshwari. She's an MBA from ISB and has worked at Mintra. She's worked at JP Morgan and Chase, and right now is a PM at Amazon. Harshita, could you give us a better intro, a bigger intro into your life?
Thanks, Nikunj. I think you've been very generous with your praise and intro for me. Thanks a lot.
Right.
And also, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. I've been following the product folks for a while now, and I think you guys are doing a great job at conducting a diverse set of sessions across the board for various PM aspirants as well as experienced PMs. So
Thank you so
kudos
much.
on that.
Thank you so much.
As far as my experience is concerned, I think you've broadly covered it. So I started my professional journey as a software developer or application developer at JP Morgan Chase. After 1 year into my role over there, I realized that I have a extreme liking towards product management. That's when I started to explore opportunities within JP Morgan. I tried doing a business analyst role over there for a while. And at somewhere around the 1.5 year mark, I realized that an MBA would make a lot of sense for me to pivot into product management from a long term standpoint.
Right.
That's when I applied to ISB and did my MBA for 1 year over there.
Right.
And post that, I started my first job as a product manager at Mintra
Okay.
in Bangalore. And I spent close to 1.5 to 2 years in Mintra, where I worked on a wide range of products. Uh, a lot of them were based on improving Mintra's catalog, improving Mintra's selection, making it more customer centric,
Right.
using machine learning models to figure out how we can improve the way we present our products, how can we personalize. So that was a very interesting experience that I had at Mintra. Post that, I was looking to widen my horizon in terms of learning things from a large global company, and that's when I joined Amazon. So I've been at Amazon now for the past 4.5 months, where I'm working in Amazon Pay as a product manager.
All right. All right. That's awesome. So, uh, first off, why product management and how did that happen? Like, how did you get introduced to product management and why did you stick around?
Sure. So I got introduced to product management, I would say, somewhere while I was still at JP Morgan. There, even though at that point there wasn't a very well defined role of product management, there was something similar called it was like a project manager come business analyst sort of role at that point. And I was working very closely with that team.
Right.
And that's where I found that this role is very uniquely responsible for uh, identifying the right problem to solve, the right way to solve it, and actually getting it solved. So I thought that this it's a very high impact role and a very high ownership role. So
Okay.
that's what attracted me to product management, and that's when I decided that I'd like to explore it further.
Right. 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 So, could you tell us about all the interview experiences you've had so far? How how did they
Sure.
happen, and how did you prepare for each one of them?
So interview experiences on campus are in fact, let me call this out to people. So campus interview experiences versus interviewing laterally also are two different things.
Okay.
On campus interviews are usually more structured, I would say, and they sort of get done in a day. There are fewer interviews, although the pressure is quite high.
Right.
uh, and the interview experiences across companies also differs a lot.
Right.
On campus, I interviewed with Flipkart and Myntra, and then chose Myntra.
Right. Right.
Uh, Whereas outside, when I was making the switch over from Myntra to Amazon, I also had interviewed at Walmart and Microsoft.
Right.
And so, yeah, I've seen how the interview experiences differ slightly across all of these companies.
Right.
Um, I would say broadly, all of the interviews are centered around assessing how well you understand uh, product, how well you understand technology, business. So it's a very multidisciplinary sort of interviews that are conducted for product management, and it also depends a lot on the stage at which you're interviewing for. So at an APM level, or if you're interviewing at an early stage PM, the focus is a lot on product design questions. The focus is a lot on understanding whether you can break down a particular problem into its constituent parts and be able to solve that very well. So I think problem solving and product design are two very common themes that I've seen across the board in companies.
Okay.
Then there are tech companies, like high tech companies, I would say, like Microsoft, where they also have an engineering round, and they focus a lot on your technical skill set as well.
Right.
Amazon, on the other hand, has a completely different interview pattern. Maybe many of you are already aware of it, but the Amazon interview focuses extensively on leadership principles. So they have these set of 14 leadership principles, and they recommend you to go back into your past experience, whether it's professional experience or college projects that you've done, and figure out instances of when and how you've displayed those leadership experiences. So for anyone interviewing, my first tip would be to figure out what company are you interested in,
Right.
and identify how they conduct their interviews, because even though there are similarities, there are still a lot of differences across companies while interviewing.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So I'm sure you must have done a lot of mock interviews while preparing for these roles.
Right.
Right. So, like, who did you do them with, and how many of them did you do?
So at B School, it gets very easy to do mock interviews, I think, because everybody's sort of preparing together. So when you can just correlate that to any undergrad interviewing experiences where everybody's sort of preparing for placements together. And you have a lot of product groups that you basically will always have a club which is catering to product management, where
Right.
there'll be a lot of workshops in a very well structured manner. So for people who know that they are doing the MBA to get into PM, I think at least at ISB, the experience was extremely well structured, because from the beginning, there were first ALM workshops that we had in the first half of the year.
Okay.
And the second half of the year, we started with our own prep, where we used to form these groups and practice interviewing a lot. So I think I would have done minimum 15 to 20 interviews at that point where we were preparing. And that's also not just because I was interviewing for product. I think I was also interviewing for some consulting companies. So they just make you do a lot of case studies and interviews. So at that point, it was quite rigorous. When I was interviewing laterally, however, I think I had just gotten comfortable with interviewing as a skill. And that time probably I didn't need to do so many mock interviews.
Right. Right. So now that you mentioned B School, I would really want you to shed light upon your journey getting to ISB, and then your journey within ISB. Like, how did you go from being a part of ISB, being a student at ISB, and then veering towards product management and landing a job? Like, how did that happen? How did ISB play into your product management journey?
Sure. So for specifically for me, I think ISB played a crucial role, because at that point, like in 2014, when I had just started my first job, at that point, it wasn't very common for people without prior product experience to even land product jobs. Now it's still a little more easier because you do have more a number of startups who are open to hiring engineers directly. But at that point, I think an MBA was a very good signaling mechanism to indicate that yes, you're ready for that next step where you want to take on more responsibility. So that was one way in which I think the MBA really helped. Then the other aspects of it, I would say, are primarily the network that it gives you access to. So like I said, the product prep for me happened in a very structured manner primarily because of the MBA, because you have so many diverse set of people working with you that you even have some product managers, you'll have developers, you'll have designers, people with a very diverse set of backgrounds. So all the things and all the multidisciplinary skills that you seek to learn sort of get easy to grasp because you're all there in the same campus, you're co-located, you can just talk to each other and figure things out. The third way I think an MBA helps overall is in understanding the end-to-end flow of a business. So while I don't think that's the most crucial thing purely from getting a job standpoint or landing a PM job, but I think how it helps is it while you're on the job, it helps you give you a better context of how to navigate through a whole structure. So I'll give you a simple example, like just simply knowing that, okay, this is how the finance team works, this is how an operations team works, this is how marketing works, these are their KRAs. So as a product manager, you'd be responsible for interacting with all of these teams. So knowing what they really do, knowing what their objectives are, will make you more aligned and aware when you go speak to them and try to get their buy-in. So an MBA makes you very aware of the breadth of how a business works. That's one way it helps. The second, I would say, is structured thinking. So like for PM interviews as well as for your job, thinking in a structured manner is probably the most important skill set, I would say, among everything, especially when you're starting out. Even as an interviewer, I think that's what we look at the most, that how structured can an individual think. So while I don't say that this is something you cannot do without an MBA, it's just a skill. So you basically just have to practice it. But I think an MBA sort of just forces you to think in that manner, because there are these ready to go frameworks that you generally keep using while you're doing the MBA. So it kind of just gets settled in you. So you'll automatically start thinking from a structured or a framework point of view. For example, even the decision to do an MBA, right? There's a very common thing called net present value, which is very common in finance actually, or ROI. These are again pure finance terms, but I think even as a product manager, day to day, I end up using that. So thinking of an MBA also should be based on what is the long-term value it's giving you.
Right. So now that you've spoken about your entire MBA experience, was it a particular class or subject you took within your MBA experience, or did you just stumble across product management sometime while talking to someone? Like, how did that happen?
Sure. Like I said, for me, I knew before the MBA that I want to do product management. So that helped me a lot because I was very laser focused, and I knew that, okay, if somebody has done or has prior product experience, I could go and connect with them easily. But
Right.
I know that for a lot of my colleagues, they discovered product management while in B school.
Right.
That is also, I would say, slightly unique to ISB, because there are a lot of ISB alums who are product managers. So they often come back to campus, do all of these extensive workshops where they explain what it really entails.
Right. So B school happened, and then you started off with your career as a product manager, which started with Myntra, right?
Yes.
So, like, could you go walk us through your entire career progression, Myntra, JP Morgan, and now at Amazon in detail? Like, how did everything happen?
Sure. Like for Myntra, as I said, it was a campus placement. And while on campus and figuring out, I think one thing that I would recommend even individuals to do, like at least this is how I did it. At the beginning, I knew that before MBA, I knew that, okay, I want to do product management. I didn't know which domain. But while I was there at B School, I took the time to figure out, okay, what domain will help me understand and hone my PM skills a lot more.
Right.
It can be different ways for different people. Like for some people have a strong interest towards a particular problem statement or a particular domain. For me, somehow I knew that e-commerce would be something that would interest me a lot, and purely because it would help me explore the breadth of PMing.
Right.
So like being in e-commerce, you get a lot of flavor of experimentation, of internal products, of B2C products. So that's primarily the reason I even chose Myntra at that point, because I felt that Myntra wasn't as large a company where I would probably feel lost. And at the same time, it wasn't as small where I wouldn't get the freedom to sort of build what I want, or, work in too much of a resource constrained environment. So it kind of had the sweet spot for me at that point. And that's the reason I joined Myntra as PM. It has a very unique and a very flat structure, despite being around in the industry for more than a decade now. I would say Myntra is one of the most flat organized companies that I've come across, where you get a lot of ownership and a lot of responsibility as a PM. So it was a very good experience in terms of owning a large scope of things and learning how to plug in. So this is one thing that I find very unique about product manager as a role.
Is something.
Mirror, sir.
Sorry. Really sorry.
That's okay. So like you're expected to often plug in into some plug-in as somebody else or as some other role. So if anything is not working across the end-to-end product life cycle, you're expected to just roll your sleeves up and do the job, because ultimately you're the whole and soul owner. And this was probably my key learning at Myntra, where it isn't too heavily resourced of an or company, is what I would say. Like there aren't too many people put to solve the same problem. It's a very lean sort of organization, and there I've done things what probably a support engineer would do. I've done things what a program manager would do, what a product manager would do, and of course what my own job is, that is a product manager. So that's how the Myntra experience was really unique and different, and helped me go very close to customers, understand the problems very well. Post that, Amazon has been quite different from how Myntra is, because it's a giant, it's magnanimous. There are very well-defined structures, and there are very well-defined teams for everything. For instance, they have mechanisms and processes for managing most of the functions and most of the problem statements. There are well-defined ways of how a particular problem has been solved. There's a lot to learn from. There are lots of people, not just within the India org, but outside India, across the globe, whom you have access to, who you can reach out to at any point of time. So from a mentorship standpoint, from standardizing things, from learning how to work at scale in a manner that things don't break, is something that I'm currently learning at Amazon.
Right. So you've been through the entire experience, the entire growth cycle of a PM, I suppose. And I guess now you're in a much more senior position, or are you like still in the growth phase as a PM?
You're always in the growth phase.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm currently a product manager at PM at Amazon. So how things progress is, after this, there's senior product manager, principal product manager, and then you go into more managerial sort of positions, where you manage people.
So given this vast experience that you've had so far, what would you like to tell people, especially prospects like me, who are not just B school prospects, but even non-B school undergrad prospects? Like, how is it that they can prepare themselves to be a good fit for a product role, not just a PM role, but any product role for that matter?
Sure. I think, Nikunj, the way any product manager would solve this problem, I would say you should always start your own product journey with the why. Define why do you want to do product management. It's a small thing, but it will help a lot in terms of the whole process of landing the job, doing well at your job, progressing further, because there'll be a lot of obstacles, and just defining that, okay, this is why this field really interests me a lot and I want to go forward, will keep you motivated. That is number one. Number two, when you're defining that why, that's when you'll start asking people the right kind of questions, where you'll because there's one aspect of product management that is projected sometimes out in the articles or in these kind of talks, but there are also a lot of difficult things that come along with it, which some people may like, some people might not like. For example, when I was at B School, when we had all these workshops, we focused a lot only on problem solving and how product managers solve impactful problems. While that's absolutely true, on the ground, when you start things, there's a lot of execution work that you need to do. And as I described earlier, you'll have to plug in sometimes as an engineer, sometimes as a engineering manager, sometimes as other roles. So knowing that this role has a lot of ownership and a lot of accountability will just keep you in line with reality. And so that's what I would recommend as the first step. So try to understand the role better. One recommendation on how to do this is to read the book Inspired. At least I found it extremely helpful. It's a book by Marty Kagan, who is the product person at SVPG, Silicon Valley Product Group.
Right.
I think it's a brilliantly written book which describes this role very well. It also describes the best practices that a PM should, or what are good ways of becoming a PM, and what really does this role entail? How is it different from all other roles? So
Right.
that's a very good starting point, I would say. That's something that I did too, and it helped me a lot.
Right.
The next step in terms of interviewing or preparing for interviews, whether you've done an MBA or not, is the same. Like understanding what companies and what areas are you interested to work in, and figuring out people over there, maybe connecting with people over there through LinkedIn or other means, and understanding how the interview process is there. When you're doing this, also try to spend some time understanding the culture, because often at an like I gave the example of Amazon, where a lot of the companies, apart from judging you on the technical skills, they also try to understand whether you're generally a culture fit. And this helps a lot even day to day as you work, because you should enjoy the company that you're working in, the people that you're surrounded by. So when you're researching companies, look at problem statements that excite you, look at company cultures that excite you. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 would be the actual interviewing practice, and building the skill of interviewing better. It's like any skill that you would build, where you have to study, where you have to practice, and third thing is you have to have faith that the process will work, that the study and the practice and the faith will lead to a good outcome. So in order for achieving that, I think now there are so many extremely good resources available online. Interviewing tips, in interview experiences. I think Suhas has also shared a lot of these on TPF community. I've seen those, and I think they're quite comprehensive.
Right.
I can tell you what I personally found very helpful for my prep. I found Exponent extremely helpful, because they do a lot of these video interviews where they actually conduct mock interviews. That gave me a lot of insights. I generally go through HackerNoon articles. I think they're very well detailed, unique, and have a lot of insight.
Right.
Product management exercises, again, a very good resource for preparing for PM interviews.
Right.
Uh,
And if I may shamelessly plug TPF in here, we also have a
Absolutely.
website of our own, learnpmwith.me. So we
Okay.
posting our resources for you to go through your entire journey from being an absolute novice, a beginner, to being a decent PM. So yeah, there's that as well. I don't think you've checked it out yet.
I will now that you've mentioned.
Glad to know. And now that we've mentioned about all the skills and everything that you need to have as to be the right PM, could you just define or state the exact skills in terms of technical skills and non-technical skills that are expected from a PM?
Sure. So I think at an at least early stage PM, so these skills also differ slightly based on what role or what level you're interviewing for. But very broadly, I would say structured thinking is probably the most important skill at at an interviewing stage, and even generally as you're working through. In terms of the technical skills, if I have to talk about pure technology skills, I think knowledge of system design is very crucial. So understanding how, because you will most likely be working with a lot of tech products, right? So understanding how technology generally works, how APIs work, what is a better caching strategy, what is a relational DB versus NoSQL DB, when to use what. So while all these things are not like it will not they are not deal breakers, but I think knowing all this helps a lot even as you do your job. So this kind of knowledge will help you overall become a better PM, is what I felt in all of my experience so far. So and for all of this, the good part is you don't need to have a computer engineering degree. So I think someone's even asked the question about does engineering background help. So I would say that it's, while it helps a bit, but I don't think that that itself is sufficient in any manner, because what you learn in engineering are basics, are okay. It makes you analytically sharp. So those are the things that it does help you with. But when I talk from an interviewing perspective, or the kind of questions or the awareness you need is more, it keeps changing. For example, in one interview, I'm giving you actual questions. They asked me that, how do you think YouTube stores videos? What are the better ways of storing these videos online? What is the strategy for retrieving the videos? How does maps, how does Google Maps work? How do you think they put target all the places, and how, so like understanding how each product works, and going deep into the system design and the various technical components that are associated with it. So I think these are things that you can just read about and learn. Again, I'm going to recommend a resource here which helped me a lot. That is Gaurav Sen's YouTube videos. He has a channel and a playlist on system design. I think that covers about everything that as a PM you need to know.
Right.
So that's on the technical. Then the other skill that you should also practice, which is very crucial and will definitely be tested in interviews, is prioritization.
Okay.
So why like this might get covered as part of a product design interview or as part of a problem solving interview, but generally they always test you on how well are you able to evaluate trade-offs. So and that's what's important, because if you see, if a decision is very black and white, right, anyone else can make it. Why do you need PMs in an organization? You need them so that they can bring in that context, bring in that nuance, evaluate, identify and evaluate trade-offs. And how do you do that? By ruthless prioritization. So there are some standard frameworks like Moscow or RICE. There are multiple. If you just search around, you'll get it. But understanding those and fitting them into the right context is something that's extremely important. So, and that's also a skill that you should know how to build. So this is something that I have been tested a lot on across my interviews, where people have asked me, okay, if I have to launch feature A versus feature B, this will take so much time versus this is going to take so much time. What would you prioritize and why? So how do you think about prioritization is extremely important. And I think that's something that should be practiced. The third thing is more on design and problem solving. So I think those are also pretty standard interview preparation techniques, where you have the circles design framework. I think that's a pretty good framework. And knowing these just help you think in a more comprehensive manner. Although you should be careful of not force-fitting frameworks everywhere, but knowing this makes sure that you're not leaving out things and you're breaking the problem down in a structured manner rather than jumping to solutions. So building that skill itself is extremely important. And yeah, I think that mostly covers it. So structured thinking, system design knowledge, prioritization, and product design.
Right. And as far as technical aspects are concerned, if I may paraphrase you, as long as you understand how the tech operates, it's fine. And you don't really need to be able to use that tech yourself or to be able to create something with that tech, if I may paraphrase what you've said. So,
yeah, so you don't need to know how to code, but at the same time, you should know what data structures mean, or what like how system design, I think, is probably the most important, more than data structures or coding also. So probably just focus on that.
Wow. So there's a lot to focus on, many frameworks to cover. So we actually have covered your PM journey, your MBA, your understanding about PM and everything so far. I think it's this is the time to throw it open to the audience. So I would ask you to put up any questions you guys have. Please feel free to ask any questions you have in the chat. We will be more than willing to answer those right now. Okay, Sandhya asks what I think there are two questions from Sahil and Sandhya regarding resources. So one is regarding technical resources for someone from a finance and an MBA background, no engineering experience whatsoever, and the other one is a very generalized answer. So like, how would you respond to Sandhya's question regarding tech resources for non-MBA, sorry, for non-engineering people?
Sure. So for the system design, I think I'd highly recommend Gaurav Sen's YouTube channel. I think that covers a lot of the basics, and he explains it in a manner that even non-tech people would understand. Uh, then generally, I would recommend going through YouTube channels for figuring out how basic products work. So take 5 to 6 basic products like Google search. You can take Maps, you can take YouTube, you can even take like Swiggy or something, and understand end to end how it would work. So while there might not be one single blog or place where you understand everything, but I would recommend you to take that effort to actually understand how each element of it would work. And once you do that, right, you do it for 4 or 5 basic products like a chat application, a map application, a video sharing application. You've basically covered most of the things that you need to know.
Right.
So that plus Gaurav Sen's videos will, I think, set you up for a good starting point, even whether you're from tech or non-tech. That should be more than enough.
Right. So I think that answers the resources question. She's already mentioned books and other resources she's referred to already. Do we have Madhavpreet says hi. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. So he's going to join an MBA program in the next 2 months. Has worked as a project manager for 2 years in e-commerce domain. Wants to transition into product. How do you think I can make this transition? So some personalized advice for Madhavpreet. Sorry.
Hey, Madhavpreet. So I think it's great that you've been working in e-commerce already. That gives you some advantage in terms of domain knowledge if you wish to become an e-commerce PM. Uh, what I would recommend is to figure out what companies come to interview at your B school, and try and connect with people in those companies, whichever you're targeting, understand their interview, what the interview process is like, so that you can start preparing specifically with that for those interviews. And given that you already have a e-commerce background, I think that puts you in that puts you at an advantage, because you'll already understand how things work.
Right, right. Awesome. So another question from Aditya. I'm an MBA grad and presently in sales and business development role and in a heavy engineering company. Wants to transition into a PM role in around a year time. How should he go about it? How should he pivot his profile in order to get enlisted for an interview? So he's in sales and business dev.
Got it. So for all people in general, where if you're not currently in a PM, but you're in a company that has that role, right? One recommendation would be to try and switch within the company. That's generally always a good practice, because there you don't even without the MBA or any master's degree, if you try to do a switch within your company, or company is more likely to do it. For example, at Myntra, I've seen many engineers shift into product management. So that's something that you should try out. And how do I pivot my profile to get shortlisted for the interview? So I'm guessing you mean in your B school, how do you form your resume in a better manner? So I think what you can do, if you're at B school, you can try to do some side projects. So there are a lot of these PM case competitions. You can try to build a sort of a side app or something that showcases your interest in the field. So the most important thing there at B School to get your resume shortlisted for anything is to be able to signal very clearly. Okay, you graduated from B School. Fine. Yeah. But the same advice applies. If you're in a company that can try you, that can enable you to move to product within the same company, try to do that. The other option always is to try to do side projects. I think that helps a lot.
Right. There's some advice that I've been told,
Hmm.
that's doing a product critique or a product review for whichever company I'm supposed to apply to. How much do you think that? How much of a difference do you think that makes to a recruiter when you show that to them? A product critique I've done for a platform.
I used it in my interviews in both Myntra and Amazon. So I do think that it works because it definitely shows that you're interested in the company and you've thought about it. So in general, that's a good practice to follow for any company that you're interviewing for.
Right. Anmol has a question. How can which I'll just paraphrase it for you. How can he increase his stock to be able to get into a PM profile sometime down the line, since he believes it requires experience or MBA in most cases. So how can he get onto that path?
For an engineering fresher. So,
Yes.
Anmol, I think that while slightly larger companies like Amazon definitely require an MBA, but I've seen a lot of the early stage startups where they are very willing and open to hire engineers as PMs. That's very, I mean, I'm sure Nikunj, you can also
Yes.
guide us on this, but I have seen that as something pretty common. The other option always is, even if you're working say in a closer field like as a designer or as an engineer, you work very closely with PMs, so you can always request the PM to sort of shadow the PM. That's one thing that you can try out within your company, or do some side project work. So this is something I did at JP Morgan, where I requested the PM to let me shadow him for a while, and I tried to do some of the smaller projects that he was undertaking and try to take that on over and above my role.
Okay. Okay. So that was along with whatever it is that you were up to as a
Yeah.
part of your role. Wow. So the next two questions from both Deepak and Madhavpreet are about certifications, workshops, whatever they can do to make their resume better, especially as an MBA pursuing student. Like, what should they do other than an internship?
I'm honestly, like, you can take this with a pinch of salt. I'm not really sure whether certifications purely help, because certifications do expose you to the theory. So if you want to learn something, I've heard that there are certifications which at least cover the entire breadth of things. So in that sense, it might help you. But I would still suggest, like, any kind of side projects or product case competitions probably add more value than just the certification alone.
Right. And Jitendra asks, if the upgrad course worth 1.5 lakh, does it make sense, especially if you wish to transition without an MBA, and it comes with a capstone project as well? Does it make sense to you?
This is a very, I mean, so first of all, I've not done that course. So ideally, I'm not the best person to answer this. But what I would suggest is look at it from this standpoint that you need two things, right? One is you need the knowledge, where you need to understand how to do, like, what a PM role entails, and how do you learn things. And second, you need to be able to showcase that in your resume in a very evident manner.
Right.
So I can answer this from a Myntra and Amazon standpoint, that they probably wouldn't value certification so much. They'd value actual products that you've built. But having said that, it's worthwhile to evaluate whether certifications are considered valuable by other companies in the industry. So a good way to sort of infer that is just look at a few early stage startups, look at what all PMs they have, and check their whatever education experience section on LinkedIn. So that's the most easy way to infer this.
Right.
I Yeah, I think that's all I can advise on this.
Some quality advice right there. Sahil asks if who would be preferred while going, or what would be preferred while going for a PM role in the future? 6 to 12 months of software development internship or a business analyst role? What do you think would be better?
Um, both will be helpful, that I can say for sure, because I've done both of these roles prior to PM, and have sort of helped me. The only edge business analyst role might give you is it exposes you more to the whole aspect of building a business case for something, or
Right.
being more comfortable with data. At least that's a lot of what I did as a business analyst, where, for any project we used to actually build a business case, which was a new skill that I didn't know. So I would say that sometimes SD projects you can do yourself at the site, and maybe you can take up the business analyst role.
Right. Right. Great advice. Deepak asks that he has participation in various competitions, would like to try and handle live projects. So, do you know of any resources which offer live projects that he could work on, or could he just try and come up with something himself?
Oh, that's a very good question. Like, I don't currently know of direct resources where anyone can do it. The only way I know people have done it is where they've voluntarily offered to help out a company, a sort of early stage company, or help out a friend who's trying to start a business, to help them out with their volunteering your PM skills. But I will try to find out, Deepak, if there's any such company that does it. So I can suggest one company that I had worked for. It's called Toolbox India Foundation. They help connect people to NGOs who might require skills. So there I worked more as a business analyst in the past, not as a PM, but maybe now they have a requirement for PMs as well. So try to look into the non-profit sector, because they are always seeking out people who can help out with their time and skills.
Right, right. Oh, I think I should take up that advice too. I'm looking for one myself. Uh, Guys, any more questions? Feel free to put them up. We still have some time on our hands. Mm. So I just would like to ask that if there any underrated skill that helps you stand out from every average PM or every average product aspirant out there. Any skill that isn't very spoken of or isn't advised too often, but that would help me stand out. Technical,
Um,
non-technical doesn't matter. Could be either.
yeah, I think one skill is listening. So this is something they don't tell you while you're preparing, and it's something that I've found very helpful while on the job. And probably even during interviews. That if you're a very good listener, right, it helps you grasp the nuances or the problems that people are talking about. Whether you're talking to your customers when you're doing whatever customer research is, or whether in your interview when you're trying to really understand what the interviewer is looking for.
Right.
So listening is probably an underrated skill, because often they say that PMs have to be good storytellers. They do, but they also need to be very good listeners.
Right. So I think we are done with the audience questions. I think I'd like to end this with one question that I really like to ask PMs, since I get a spectrum of opinions when I ask this. Do you think the product management role is a good stepping stone towards eventually becoming an entrepreneur?
Yes, I think it's brilliant. I think it is the only kind of training you can ever get to eventually be a CEO, the
Right.
closest enough that you can get. Because, like I said, the role essentially is created so that you can take decisions. So the key value that a PM adds is taking decisions in the face of ambiguity.
Right.
uh, Everything else is often very well defined and is not as multifunctional, but I would say the PM role is highly multifunctional,
Right.
multidisciplinary. You have to think about too many things at one point of time, and there'll be an element of ambiguity, and you need to take the decision which is better in both the short term and the long term.
Right. 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 So there's
So
a lot
yeah.
to consider in there. So I think that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much, Harshita, for making time for this. And in case they wish to reach out to you, how should they do that? How can they do that?
You can reach out on LinkedIn. That'll be the best, I suggest.
Right.
Otherwise, Twitter handles also there. I can share it across on the chat if you want.
Please do. Please do.
Oh, I think it only went to one person. Wait, sorry. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. You can follow her on Twitter on this handle, and her LinkedIn has been shared on the post and on the mails before, and we'll probably share it again with when we put this up on YouTube. So thanks a ton for doing this, Harshita. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on this edition of Breaking into Product Management. Thank you so much for
Thanks a
joining in.
lot for the opportunity, Nikunj. I had a great time and all the best to the product folks. You're doing great work.
Yes, thank you so much. Today is actually our birthday, so
Oh,
great day
yeah, I
of
saw
which,
that.
yes, great day to have someone like you on board. Thank you so much, Harshita. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on board. There's so much that I took from this since I'm an aspirant myself. A lot to learn, a lot to look forward to. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. Good night. Stay
Good night.
safe.
Take care, everyone. Good night. Signing off.